What is good, my people, my peeps? How are you guys doing this afternoon? Look, I wanted to stop in because I wanted to talk about this Vegas shooting. And hold on, I want to see. Hello, hello, welcome in. I want to see something real quick. I want to see if I can. I want to try this green screen out again. Can I put that up? Let's see. No. How about this? Welcome in. As you come in the building, can you guys hit the thumbs up? I would appreciate it. I'm just messing with this green screen really quick. And it don't want to pick up the picture I want to have up. Okay. Anyway, we'll go back to the studio. Back to the studio we shall go, I guess. I want to talk about this Vegas shooting. I didn't get a chance to tap in, and I definitely want to talk about it. Hold on, let me see if I can get this one up. Can I get a mic? I just think that green screen is so cute, but it don't want to work on certain pictures. Or you could double tap your screen. You can double tap your screen. What's good, Young Riz? Drip King is in the building. That's what I'm talking about, okay? God strengthens me. All right, how are you doing this afternoon? So I want to talk about this situation that happened in Vegas with the smaller YouTubers. I don't know if one of them was larger than the other, but however, hello, howdy, welcome in. And y'all, oh, my sinuses have been draining. I don't know, the weather, it's been changing. Now it's super duper hot outside. So if I'm sniffling, just ignore me. But I want to really talk about what went down with this YouTube beef and how that people, my channel started many different ways. And I recap for you all just so you can get a understanding every so often. Every so often I recap this. So real quick, I built my channel as a entertainment-based channel to support local artists, writers, chefs, anybody who had their skill sets that they wanted to debut. So that's how my channel started. And but it was called House Nicole. That was my company's name. And it grew rapidly, okay? And I would be called out to do interviews. Now, if you've been rocking with me, you pretty much know this history, right? And so then I got hired to work for a multi-million-dollar global company called iHeartMedia, okay? And when I got hired to work for iHeartMedia, some things started happening very strange in my life. But even before then, things started happening. But I didn't realize it because I didn't know, or wasn't assuming that there are really crazy people out in the world. I mean, you hear about them on the news when you're at home and things like that when you're in the comfort of your own home. But for me, let me speak for me. For me, it was something very eye-opening, okay? So you pick up followers and fans, if you will, very fast. And that's what happened before I even started working at iHeartMedia. And you'll tell, because they'll treat you just like you see they treat like some of the streamers now. They come up, they want to hug you, they want to be with you, they want to take pictures of you, and things of that nature, right? And so from there, anyway, I went on to work for iHeartMedia. And then I was pushed out more into the public, more into PR for the company. I would do events to go out and broadcast live. I was paid to come out and host events for particular businesses to bring in more customers, foot traffic to those particular events. Okay, as you can see by the title of this video today, it is Stalking is Real. Okay? I want to say this one more time. Stalking is real. And this terminology that we are hearing nowadays called gang stalking is real as well. Okay, it has several names. Community-based harassment. It can go by it's has military names to it as well, covert stalking, and it's associated with some like black ops type of stalking. Okay, there's levels to this, and I want you to take this seriously. But some of you will not, because you'll wait till you're old and gray, and you'll hear stories of people who, like myself, who have come out and giving you information regarding gang stalking, and I've given it to you from a very, very personal experience. Okay, not that jumping on a trend. Sorry if I sound stepped up, y'all. Like I told y'all, my draining, my sinuses. Not jumping on a trend, not to be included, and I would never, first and foremost, jump on any trend that would have stalking in the name. Okay, but some people do. Some people do to grow their content, their channels, or things of that nature. Excuse me. Let me get some ice water. Okay, so some people do. Just like any organization or any trend, people will jump on the bandwagon, and it has never affected them. They know nothing about it. They'll research it, but they absolutely have no clue about what really is going on, and that it's really not affecting them. I want you to know, when I flip my channel over to telling you all the stories, my personal stories. So if you want to do your research, please, I implore you to go down into my archives, and you will see the videos that I have, and some of the tactics that were used in this phenomenon that we know as gang stalking, organized stalking, community-based stalking, and covert stalking via military. Okay, so there's there's a variety of names, and I'm going to make this quick because my battery is trying to die on me. So I saw this situation just like you all had saw it. Matter of fact, I had saw it the night when they were live streaming, and I actually seen the live stream up going. Okay, I did not even want it, because that's not my content, to bring you anything of a visible violent nature, okay, to my platform. But I actually seen when, I believe his name was Manny. I had to write his name down. Manny actually came up and shot the two victims, the two YouTubers. Now, I am telling you, and I'm bringing this to you, to your awareness, that stalking is real, gang stalking is real, all of that is real. And I am one that has gone and I have affidavits. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna have to go get my doggone plug, because this phone is going dead. Y'all, hold on real quick. Let me see. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me cover this camera up right quick. Good gracious. Oh my gosh. Y'all hold on. Oh goodness. I'm trying to get up without. There we go. No, there we don't go. There we go. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'll fix this for you. I gotta go get my plug, y'all. I gotta go get my charger because I haven't even got to what I want to speak to you all about, and it's already going dead. Y'all hold tight. Hold tight. Alrighty, there. Okay. Give me a minute to plug this up, if you will. And we'll get back to the content at hand. Alrighty. All right, and we're back. And we're back. Okay, so hopefully this will be okay. What's good? What's good? Martin in the building. So let's get to it. Once again, I'll be drinking because I'm trying to hydrate myself, okay? Water. I mean, people watch your life so very closely, guys. And sometimes you don't even realize it. And especially, I want to come to you because I have truly no games. Most of you guys have seen my receipts. I have been in the public eye for a while. I legitimately have worked in the public eye, okay? And so when I hear of a situation like this, I want to come to you all, and we're going to talk about stalking, gang stalking. It is real, and it can get you hurt, okay, if you take it as a joke. So let's just listen in real quick, just in case you're not familiar with the story. Finny the Legend by The tragic shooting of YouTuber Finny the Legend by Sin City Mannywise. A full breakdown. On the night of June 8th, 2025, the Las Vegas Strip was rocked by a shocking act of violence that was captured live on YouTube. Finny the Legend, a content creator known for his live streams, was fatally shot alongside his wife, Bubbly, by fellow YouTuber Sin City. Let's pause. Can we get the thumbs up? Double tap your screen. Double tap as you come in. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Mannywise, also known as Sin City Family or Manny D, near the Bellagio fountains. The incident, which unfolded in real time on Finny's live stream, has since gone viral, sparking outrage and grief across social media. Here's everything we know so far about this tragic event. 1. The shooting. What happened? The attack occurred at 10:40 p.m. Pacific time while Finny the Legend was live streaming a walk along the Las Vegas Strip with his wife, Bubbly. The couple was near the Bellagio Hotel and Casino when Sin City Mannywise appeared in the background of the stream. At first, he seemed unaware of them, but moments later, he returned and engaged in a heated confrontation with Bubbly. What the live stream showed, Mannywise suddenly pulled out a handgun and fired at least 7 shots in Finny's direction. Bubbly, in shock, screamed, "Are you Finangie kidding me?" before the camera appeared to drop to the ground. Chaos ensued as bystanders fled in panic. The live stream was cut off by a police officer minutes later. Police arrived swiftly and found 2 victims, Finny. So you pretty much have heard enough of the breakdown because this story has been going all over YouTube, and I didn't feel that I needed to cover it in, intensely, or that's not the word I want to look, in depth, okay? I didn't feel that I needed to do that because it was done, very well. But I wanted to come to you all and tell you that stalking is real, okay? Don't think it's a game. People are delusional. People do lose their mind. They lose their grip on freaking reality. Okay, people? So I want to give you another video of Manny. literally going live saying he's looking for Bubbly. Bubbly is the wife. The wife was shot of Finney the legend. So the husband and wife were shot and killed, and Bubbly is the wife. And Manny Wise, he was on a ramp. He literally was looking. He literally was stalking, trying to find these people. Okay, stalking is real, people. Okay, let's get it. Okay.
In Bubbly. Jerome, I'm out here searching for my baby. The fuck? I went through every fucking casino there is. I heard there's one of my biggest fans here in fucking town. I'm dying to see him. I'm fucking dying to see him. What we do? A full bar tonight? Is that what we're doing? I'll fucking be there.
And for you all that don't know, that is the voice of the shooter. Okay, that is the actual voice of the shooter. He would go on to his live stream and he would just do these threats, but he was very bold with his threats. And some people don't take this stuff serious. They think it's a game. They think that people on YouTube are not freaking delusional. And there are people that are delusional on YouTube. Like I said, when I was awakened to my spiritual walk and what was going on around me and finding out that I literally was being stalked, it was a shock to the system. And you literally have to readjust your world when you thought you were living in a world where you could your home could be a sanctuary. You know, you could go places and you didn't have to be as diligent as you do now. That's why I tell women, keep your head on a swivel. Even if you're not in my predicament or so many other predicaments of people, men and women, who are going through this real life phenomenon of gang stalking, stalking in groups of people. They get organized. I mean, we've heard it. People have said the Masons are responsible for some of their stalking. It's just very, it's sectors that are growing, basically. People get paid in different ways with cash apps or, what do they call it? Like the little gift cards and things of that nature. And people are, you know, desperate. And they were desperate back then. My gang stalking started, let me see, 2016, okay? And it has not stopped, and it only gets worse. And people are like, well, why, you know, you still do public appearances or you go on live. Once it starts, it never stops, my people, my peeps. So my the way I have coped with the situation is I spread awareness. And some people do not like that because they want to stay hidden in the shadows and they want to not have reputable people tell what is going on. They want to have people that have jumped into this phenomenon. And just like you're seeing out in Los Angeles, where you have people that go into the rally, just like when they was marching for George Floyd, they had antagonizers. They have that in this movement or this awareness of gang stalking. They have antagonizers. They have people that they want to distract people, you all, the masses, to wake up to what is going on. That this really is turning into a militarized state. And they have started to use everyday citizens to militarize the civilians. Okay? And some of these people don't even know or they don't care because they don't think that it's going to affect them in the long run. Okay? And it really is. So let's continue to hear him for a little bit. This is the actual shooter's voice that we are listening to. Let's continue. Alrighty.
Fucking be there. Better fucking be there. come to my city and think I'm not gonna show up? You fucking think I'm not gonna show up? I should have been the first one to be told. Jerome, I'm out here searching for my baby. What the fuck? I went through every fucking casino there is. I heard there's one of my biggest fans here in fucking town. I'm dying to see him. I'm fucking dying to see him. What we doing? Fuel bar tonight? Is that what we're doing? I'll fucking be there. I'll fucking be there. You better fucking believe it.
You heard him?
Come to my city and think I'm not gonna show up?
What'd he say? You better effing believe it, okay? You better effing believe it. And let me tell you people out there, you better effing believe it, okay? This is real. And so, like I said, I was never a YouTuber. In the beginning, like I said, when I started this platform, it was to highlight other people other than myself, okay? And I have the evidence to prove that. It was never about me. It was always about highlighting my community and working in my community and for the people of my community, okay? But then when it got real and I seen, okay, these people are really delusional. I, at the time, had no idea about what a narcissist was, what narcissists are, what flying monkeys are, triangulation. I had to learn that along the way, along my journey, coming into the awareness of this new reality that I must exist in and be very wise in how I move in it. And be thankful, be utmost thankful for the Most High Yah giving me discernment beyond compare. Okay, but I wanna turn to this real quick because we as children of the Most High Yah, if you study the Bible. What does it say? Study to show yourself approved. And then also, because when this first happened, I would hear different stories. Oh, you're never going to prove it. Why are you videotaping? Why are you putting the one in the chat, Martin? Why are you videotaping and you're never going to prove this type of stuff? But I kept videotaping. And also, there were home invasions. There were so many things that were going on. This is part of the gang stalking. This is part of their terroristic plans to terrorize you into having you do something to yourself, right? And trust me, it has worked on so many people that did not know what was going on. I mean, these people were getting family members paid off to enact in their own family members' terror. That is when I talked about, and I have talked about betrayal and things of that nature, how people really don't know how the depths of betrayal until they are into or have been in something like this, or truly been in a marriage situation that they truly were in it because they wanted to be married and they were truly committed, and then to be betrayed by your partner. Those people would understand what betrayal is and how devastating that is, and then for different scenarios to happen to a person in their life, how that is a shockwave beyond compare. But with me, I was, and to this day, I always documented any and every incident, okay? And so this is what, I'm just going to show you a couple of things, guys. Because people, you know, even if whenever this comes to light, right? You know how you're watching the Diddy trial right now. Some people may say Cassie is a liar, you know, whatever have you. Why she didn't report it? Why she ain't called up the law when it was going down? Why? Well, you will find out, especially in a program like gang stalking, how many people have been paid off, how corrupt this program is, and it reaches its tentacles deep and far. I mean, all the way into the medical field, into every aspect of your life to truly try to drive you insane. But yet and still, that did not stop me. Okay? So, what I want to do is I don't want to show, let me see how I can do this. Hold on, my people, my peeps. I am sorry. Let me take a drink real quick and let me figure out how I want to hold this up without displaying any information. Okay. Okay. What you say? God says, "Fear not." Their face. No, oh baby, I understand. God says, "Fear not," but Jesus also, when he walked this earth, said, "Go get a sword." Right? We cannot be like our I don't know if you grew up in the church and you know everything was just a prayer, and you know the Most High is putting soldiers down here, okay, fighters, okay. So yeah, don't fear. There ain't no fear here. Trust and believe. It ain't no fear here. Any Let me say this. Let me correct myself. I was jolted in the beginning, yes. But fear, oh, no. Because, see, what it is the cowards, oh my gosh, this is not even, okay, let me talk because the charge is going, but it's charging, y'all. I had it off the charger. The cowards are the ones that hide in the shadows, right? I don't play like that. I don't play like that. So what I'm going to do is kind of flash this really quick. Y'all can see the seal real quick. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay, these are documents, okay? These are all documents that you would get. I'm going to just do this because people just too nosy. When you call and you have an incident happen at your home, such as a break-in, because if you know your home and you know, however you take care of your home, you'll know when things are out of place or whatever, right? So when that would happen, I would call. Now, at the time when I would call, I was thinking that, hey, this is a breaking and entering situation, right? Because nobody should be coming into your home. And what I found out going through this process, that there's steps. Okay, people, go ahead and hit that thumbs up because this is serious talk. Okay, this husband and wife lost their lives because they thought it was a game out here. They thought it was sweet out here in these streets. They probably are the type of people, when you hear about gang stalking or stalking, community harassment, you think it's a game and you'll be lined up like these people. Okay, you'll be lined smooth up. So I want to inform you that go ahead. If this is happening to you, if you're noticing any strange occurrences happening in your home, go ahead, call the police, get it documented. Okay? That's what I was getting ready to say, because if you don't and you try to come back later and say, well, this was happening to me, they're going to do you like they did Cassie, like they do anybody, especially if it's a woman. Why you ain't called the police when it first started? Well, I called the police. What date was this? This was in 2017, 2016 is when it started. And I got it's documented. And in these photos, it's several sheets of, as you can see, it's not just one. These are, I don't know if you can see that. The light is on there. These are a couple of sheets in there. Let me see. I don't know. The light is blinding it. These are a couple of sheets in there, okay? But what I want you to understand is documented, because I didn't know the police would come out. Oh, well, this is not a breaking and entering. This is what we consider to be a just a incident call. Okay, for you people that don't know, I don't want you to be led astray and something happens because you don't think gang stalking is real. You don't think stalking is real. Okay, and you listen to people who say that it's not real. Okay, and they'll get you smooth lined up. Get that documented. Okay, so I am persistent, especially when you are trying to mess with my livelihood, when you are trying to mess with my sanity, right? I was persistent, and they documented it, and they found evidence of the home invasion, right? But it actually was not listed, let me see, as a home invasion until, let me see what this is called. Because I want you all to be very aware of the law. And you need to be very aware of the law where you live, okay? Ladies and gentlemen. Hold on for 1 minute. So it's actually called a call sheet. So this is a when they come out, you made a 911 call. They come out, they document the incident, they document what happened, they document everything, and I even have pictures to go with every incident, right? So when that was occurring, I came home another time, okay, and an incident had occurred. A home invasion had occurred. But like I said, it wasn't considered a home invasion yet. And that is why it is very important for you to document, for you to call the popo, even if you feel that they are corrupt. Okay? Because a lot of folks is corrupt in the system. But even if you feel that they are corrupt, call the law. Okay? That last time that I got any type of home invasion, and trust and believe, they still try to do their little stuff. But the thing is, it was elevated. And this is what you need to know. The systems, they have to do, and they have to follow their so-called laws that they have in place. But you have to be persistent if you feel that you are being stalked. If you are being gang stalked, it is not a game. You'll wind up losing your life, just like that couple did out in Vegas, thinking it's sweet out here. Okay? Now, when I came home to this one incident, I actually had some brand new neighbors that had moved right across the hall from me. And when the incident happened, I went straight over and I started knocking on doors. Because I'm like, I need a witness to anything that, any suspect movement, anything. And those brand new neighbors didn't know what was going on, didn't have a chance to be corrupted by other gang stalkers, because they recruit, honey. They recruit, okay? And I knocked on her door and I asked her, I said, and I introduced myself, and I asked her, I said, have you noticed any strange activity around my apartment? Because, you know, she was new, but we would see each other in passing, me going to work and things of that nature. And she was like, yeah, well, I saw your boyfriend and his friend coming in and out of your apartment, sometimes late at night, sometimes. I was like, whoa. What did you say? She said, yeah, your boyfriend. And at the time, I wasn't dating anyone. Okay? And I said, I called the police. I said, would you come to the police station with me? Okay? And she was like, sure. ladies and gentlemen, when this witness went up to the police station with me and wrote her statement down, that is when it was elevated from just these calls that they just document, which is still good. I don't dissuade you from getting it documented. Okay, it is still good. These call sheets, and you know how they are. You know, some of y'all have been in domestic violence situations. Let me see something. I think I got, and the police might give you just and this has nothing to do with domestic violence at all. And they give you one of these police, you know what I'm saying? They give you a card. I got so many of these cards along with this book that I got down here. What's good, Forever Studios? When that witness went to the police station and she documented it, then, my people, my peace. That's why I said it's important for you to know the laws in your state. Then it was elevated to an incident report. Then it was classified as home invasion. Okay? That is very important. That this was classified, this document right here was classified as a home invasion due to eyewitness occurrences. Okay? Once you get a home invasion documented in your local police department, it goes basically to the wire. It goes out to local news press. It's sent out on a press release. If you know what a press release is, it's letting anyone know that this particular person has they're documented as their home being invaded. So the newspaper knows, just like if you were to serve somebody that you were married and you couldn't get a hold of them and you were trying to get a divorce or something like that, you would have to go in and back in the day, I don't know how they do it now, but I'm sure they have still the newspapers just online. You would have to publish something online. So just because you don't read and you don't know what's good, Selena, just because you don't read and you don't know, don't mean it's not happening. Okay, that's like just because you run a red light and say, I don't know that you're supposed to stop at a red light. Oh, okay, well, here's your ticket. See you in court. Okay, that's the importance of this being distributed to a home invasion and elevated to a home invasion report. Okay, this document right here. And when I got this document right here, that is when I went and bought me a pew pew. Ladies and gentlemen, that is when I went and bought me a pew pew. If you know what I mean, and you should, because it wasn't that hidden. Because anytime with this saying people been running in and out, up and down, thinking they slick, in and out of my facility, and I have previous documents to back up this home invasion, well, it's almost like when you hear people say, I'm on psychotic meds. They can't arrest me because I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Have you ever heard people say that? I'm crazy. They can't arrest me. I'm on meds. I'm already documented crazy. I'm already documented that I've been stalked. I have been harassed. I have had damages done to my property. Okay? And it is documented. And so if somebody wants to be froggy and leap, if somebody wants to just really go ahead and go send their soul up to glory, let them do that. But see, with gang stalkers, they hide in the shadows. Okay? So I want you people to know, gang stalking is real. I have the proof and the evidence, okay, and that I have been stalked, and but I'm not the one to be played with, okay? I had to fight all my life. Okay? All my life I had to fight. All my life I had to fight. So I don't play no games with nobody. And if I say stalking is real, stalking is real. And I have plenty of evidence to prove so. Okay? Hold on, y'all. Hello, Rallo. What you saying? Yeah, stay on. Yes, I have plenty of evidence. I have gotten to the point where, look, I'm not gonna worry about if a ring cam, because they will. Y'all don't understand how in depth this system and this program is. Where I've had ring cameras, I have had cameras in my home where they go in and they bypass your code, and you'll be missing footage. You will be missing actual video footage. Okay. So I got to the point, if you are that big, bad, and bold, and this is not to say that I consider myself to be big, bad, and bold, but I'm not going out without a fight. I'm not. Because I know that I am covered, okay? I know from the Most High Yah, I have had dreams. I know two big ass angels walk everywhere with me. And I've told you guys that vision before. I've told you guys, if you go down in my archives, when I was sitting on my couch in this very home, I had a day vision, okay? And I seen two mighty angels in white walking beside me. And I tried to look up at their face just to get a glimpse of their doggone face. And they were so freaking big and tall, I could not see their face. Okay? And as I was walking with these angels, I had on like a white garment, but it was like flowy. It was flowy, and I had this long, it was like one of those Japanese swords almost. It was like a long sword. But it was hooked to my I guess like a belt type, like a tied belt. Okay? I promise you, this was just a few years ago I had this doggone vision. I'm walking with these two big angels in a white garment with a sword. And as I look up at them, I couldn't see them. I could not see their face. I looked straight up in the sky. Okay, this is my testimony, and I'll die on a hill and in the valley and anywhere about this testimony. I looked straight up, and there was a huge chariot just way up in the sky. It was so massive and so freaking huge. You know how your head goes back, and then I turned to look behind me because I couldn't see them, and I just seen this huge chariot. You might call it a spaceship if you know. And I looked back, and God be my witness, it was chariots all in the back of me, just all scattered throughout the sky, scattered throughout. So you know what? When I say gang stalking is real, spiritual warfare is real, I'm not just saying it to get no clout, because that stuff was not fun when I was going through it. Trust and believe, it was not fun when I was going through it. But the Most High Yah has sent me so many visions to let me know that I'm one of His. So many visions, so many signs, and that's why I talk to you guys about your dreams and being cognizant of your dreams. Being aware of your dreams, because if you don't get a day vision, not that I was daydreaming like la 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 la, like literally I'm sitting on the couch and it's a weird experience. I don't even know how to explain how it's as if you're there, like it's hard to explain. I'm sitting there, I'm doing something, and then all of a sudden you're taken into a vision. That's the best way I can explain a day vision. You're busy doing something. Matter of fact, I remember it. It was when I had woke up that morning and I had just made 700 subscribers on YouTube. Kid you not. And I was getting ready to make like a little thank you post to the community chat. And as I was making that thank you post to the community chat, that's when it just like I remember stopping and like I was taken into a vision. Okay? And that is when I seen the two angels, because they were they had garments on, but I didn't see the garments. I seen like two glowing, very bright, glowing lights. And that's what made me turn and look to the side. And when I turned and looked to either side, that's when I seen that they had these garments on, okay? Which made me realize these were beings. These were not just lights, okay? And that's what made me look and try to look up to see what was standing beside me, okay? Um, I'm telling you guys, my testimonies are not, hold on, are not here to be fake. I never started, like I said, out to be a YouTuber. I literally had a career. I still have a career. I just never, that was not my goal. And to put stuff on YouTube, that was to edify and lift up and motivate other people. So I never was out here trying to be trying to get any stardom for myself. Or I have said this time and time again, I have been actually put into the forefront of everything that I've done. Not that I have tried to do that. I have been put there. Okay? And I'm not out here to, I truly want to be able to help people, to have or be able to build a community with people. But it is really hard. And I know you guys are saying stuff. Um, and I'll try to read some of you guys' statements and comments. It has been really hard to try to build community, because within the Black community, it's just so hard for us. And I have to, wrap my head around it, that it's because of the curses of Deuteronomy. But if you know who I am, and if you truly know my walk, and if you could truly speak to the people that I used to interview, I used to put on my show, I was truly happy when they opened for a international artist that it makes me feel like I want to cry to this day. I feel happy when I am helping someone, okay? But people will truly take your kindness and twist it and really manipulate it and use it against you. And that is what's sad about my community, okay? It's sad to know that it's so hard for us to work together. And then when you see, like I'm telling you about this program, when you see other people that look like you, knowing that they're plotting, they're stalking, they're coming against you, and they don't even have a clue. They don't know you. And it's really, I'm not gonna lie, it's just it's it's heartbreaking. It really is. But people think that, I don't know. I'm starting to think that people think that am out here trying to get some type of shine. If that was the case, I would just do Uber, and try to build a YouTube career, you know? But I haven't. I just come on here and people just keep subscribing to me. Whether whatever my material, if I truly was trying to concentrate on being a YouTuber or a content creator, I would sit down and actually think about a specific niche to really build upon. But I haven't done that. You will go down my content and see a variety of videos with different informational segments in them. A variety. And that is if you should know by now that that's not how YouTube works. They want you to concentrate on a certain niche. And trust me, I know. I literally know. I was in media. I know about how algorithms work. I know about how we had 8 radio stations. If you was to look at having 8 radio stations and consider each of those 8 radio stations as a niche, you had country, you had R&B. Well, we didn't have R&B. We had hip hop and R&B. You had we had Churban. Churban is like a pop, like the pop kids songs. They're not kids, but adult songs. We have, let me see, country, hip hop and R&B, Churban. We had the news channel. We had my goodness, I have to go get my list. I forgot. We had talk radio. We had these would be considered niches, okay? And certain, y'all don't even know the amount of work that I didn't endure. I don't want to say endured, but I handled. I performed, because I was not only selling, advertising, writing, and producing content, not content, but commercials. I was on the business side of that. If you would even just got a glimpse of my computer, it looked like I was operating something out of the airlines, because there were so many moving pieces that was happening at one time. When I say that position I held was more than multitasking, it was more than even multitasking. It was on beyond steroids. Okay. Those people, and oh gosh, I don't want to get all off into that, but I just wanted to give you an idea of, if I truly was interested in being a content creator or a YouTuber, I would stick to a niche, stick to a specific subject, so that the algorithm can pick me up and push me in that direction. But I don't. I just, whatever comes to my mind, whatever I feel like talking about, that's what I'm going to do. And the channel it grows with subscribers, okay? But and if that's what the Most High wants, he gonna make a way. He gonna put that and make a way, because that's how he has been in my life, that's how he's been in your life, and helped you to maneuver through things that you think, what's that? He gonna make a way out of no way, right? I just want you all to know that, my goodness, we need to stop shutting down people's voices. We need to stop that. Just because you may not have never heard of it, and or something as stalking or gang stalking, or I can go out to my car right now and show you damage from somebody. And when I bought that car brand spanking new, and somebody came just because of jealousy of not being able to talk to me because I shut them down. I didn't want to associate with that particular person, and they get irate. So when I extend myself to people, trust me, I am truly opening the door to you to be, even if it's over across these internet streets, a part of any interaction that I'm doing. I have never, I can't even say, I don't have that, thank God, I don't have that jealous type spirit, okay? But that spirit has haunted me, has tracked me down, and it's probably tracked some of you guys down to where you'd be like, why is this person jealous of me? When sometimes the people that are jealous of you have more than you have. Sometimes the people that are jealous of you are doing just better than you in school or in their career, or and you're puzzled. You would be just straight up. That has been me my whole life. I have had to fight through so many difficult things my whole life. That's why I understand when people are fighting with certain demons. Like I talked about when I came on here, and I had to backtrack when I was talking to a content creator when that person had told me that they were wrestling with molestation. Okay, and I did a video. You know, hey, I had to check myself. Yeah, no, I know that is a demonic stronghold that was placed in the mind. And if this person didn't have the tools, or have lacked, or stop using, or stop fighting, I want to re-encourage that person, because I'm telling you, the enemy tries to get you when you're young. When you're young. So if you've had trials and tribulations when you were young, I guarantee it, I bet you, I feel it in my soul that you are a strong being. You have rank in heaven. Okay? Um I I know when and I think I have told this story before. And I know I have, that I died at 7 years old. Okay? Um, I was skinnier. I was like a buck '05, a string bean child. Okay? But I always was a very prissy type child. I always liked girly stuff. I always wanted to dress up and do things like my mom. You know what I'm saying? I was that type of child. And but I was always um I think I've always had this take charge uh uh attitude about me, wanted to help, wanted to, and like I said, I did die when I was 7 years old, and I told this story. I was playing dress up, and my mom was cooking in the kitchen, and she had this big pot of grease, and this is baby fried chicken. Frying chicken. Oh, a sister know how to fry chicken, okay? Because a sister got fried like some chicken. Oh, I know how to fry some chicken. uh my mother used to cook chicken in a cast iron skillet, one of those old school black cast iron skillet, and she put the skillet on the stove, right? And she was heating up the grease in the skillet. And I was in the back, and I had on something of hers, and I tied it up trying to make it fit to my narrow behind. And my brother was in the house too, and we were about to go to Germany, so we didn't have very much, items, clothing, or anything in the home at that time. And I remember my mom calling out to my brother and saying, so and so, go get the skillet, because he was older than me, but not much older than me. Okay, we're 2 years apart. um she was like, so and so, go get the skillet and move it over, because I guess she could smell that the grease was getting too hot. And so she told him, go get the skillet and move it over off of the eye. And he doing that, huh? If you can you can hear game. And I heard the directions and the command, but in my tiny little immature head and my weakling body, I thought I had the strength of Samson, not knowing who even Samson was at the time. But I thought I had the strength to go do and fulfill the command that she had given to my brother. I trolleyed along into that kitchen and went and I picked up the cast iron. Now, mind you, cast iron, the heat comes from the all through the pot. You have to pick up a what do you call it, a oven mitten to grab a cast iron skillet, right? I went in, not that's why I said children, their minds are not developed. Okay, we reach milestones. I went in there and I picked up the pot, but before I can burn the palms of my hand, my mom must have sensed me going into that kitchen. And she seen me pick up that pot. And it frightened her so bad. She said, oh no. And when she screamed out no, I dropped the pot, but I tossed the grease up with the pot, okay? Guess where that grease landed? Guess where that grease landed? Right on my leg, right? When that grease landed on my leg, I kid you not, I jumped from the kitchen all the way almost out of the door of our apartment. And I can recall that my legs, because it hit a little bit on one, but it hit like on my knee the most. I can recall that if anybody has ever been in any type of tragic accident, they can be a witness to what I'm going to tell you right now. Everything goes into slow motion. I don't know why. I am a true witness to that phenomenon. Everything goes into freaking slow motion. Like, so you might have seen some movies show an incident and it slows it down, like maybe a car scene or a crash getting ready to happen, and they slow it down and you can see the people in the car and how they're moving. That literally happens. I jumped and landed on the living room floor, and my legs were moving without my control. My legs literally were moving. And I'm screaming, but it's like I couldn't hear myself screaming. I'm seeing panic, and it's like the audio is coming in and out, in and out. Like I'm hearing my mom, oh my God, and she's calling for my brother, and then it'll go out. And then the audio would come back in, and I heard her say, go get, now my mom is old school, I'm old, my doggo self, so you can imagine when this happened, this was in the 70s. My mom is calling for my brother, and she's like, go get the butter. Okay, let me tell you, the Most High, Yah is going to make a way out of no way, and he's going to give knowledge and send knowledge down, and it does not always have to be to the person you think it should be. It was not sent down to my mother, it was sent down to my brother. Hallelujah. Okay? It was this knowledge that came down to save me did not go down to my mother, because I heard her say, go get the butter. Audio went out. I'm literally going into what they call shock. Okay? That is why I'm going in and out. I'm hearing the audio go. The pain is so intense that shock starts to take, and you can die from shock. Okay? um the pain is so intense. uh the last thing I hear is my brother say no, and he said, take her to the bathtub. And he ran to the bathtub, he plugged it up, and he turned the water on, and he helped my mom take me into the bathtub and put me in cold. Hold on. Ooh, hold on. Okay. Okay. Woo. So my brother, um, he, I don't even know if I can finish this story, y'all. I don't even know if I can finish this story. Hold on. Ugh. He turns on just cold, straight cold water, and submerges me into this tub, and it stops the burning. Okay. Now this is grease. Now the grease has burnt through the garment I had on, and it has burnt to my leg. And so the garment I had on and the grease are, they're stuck to my leg, right? And my mom grabs her car keys, and she goes to turn on the car, and it, I mean, her quick wit, by not trying to call emergency services. I don't even think 911 was even set up in the 70s when this incident happened. Okay. And don't, I have a sense of humor. Don't let the Holy Spirit use your sister. Oh goodness. So I remember getting brought out the bathroom, and my mom is, I'm soaking wet. Okay. And if anybody knows about being burnt, okay, um it will cause a blister. Okay, so my mom takes me out the bath, and she puts me on the ground and try to gather up some things, and my leg is growing because a blister is now forming on certain parts of my leg. And it's fluid. It's fluid being formed under this blister. Now, a lot of people don't understand that a lot of people who pass away from burns and things of that nature is because they lose a lot of fluid, um, due to this reaction that your body is going through. So all this fluid goes into, my leg, and it is like Jiffy popcorn. If y'all know, back in the day they used to have this thing, popcorn in a little thing you used to put on the stove and just shake it, and it pop pop pop, and it make a bubble, and then you just rip it open, and it was popcorn in it. It looked, my leg looked like Jiffy popcorn, because the skin was filling with liquid. And as tiny as I was, um, baby, like I said, at 7 years old, I died. I remember the last thing, because I was going in and out of consciousness by then. My mom picks me up, she puts me into the car, okay? and I passed out. It baby, it faded to black. I remember it. I was out. I was out. It literally, my battery is going down. Um, it literally faded to black. Um, the next scene I remember was like being groggy, and my mom is running with me in her arms, and she's running into the hospital, and she puts me up on the hospital. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Um, ooh wee. She puts me on the hospital table, you know, the check-in counter. And she's like, my daughter's just been burnt. Okay? Y'all have to remember, this is in early 1970s, probably around 76 or so, around that time. She puts me on the counter, and this is a white hospital, because my mom always kind of lived around white neighborhoods, basically all of our lives. So this was in a white, it was a white hospital. And she puts me on the counter. My legs are huge, but my body frame is tiny. And I remember being laid on the hospital counter, and the nurse says, she's ignoring my mom, right, at first. And then my mom's frantic, and she's like, my daughter just got burnt, you know. And the lady was like, okay, okay, go ahead and go have a seat. Dismissing my mom. It was a white nurse. And she like tries to dismiss my mom and say, yeah, 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 go and have a seat. And my mom, I remember, because the counters back in the day were high. Like when you came to the counter, it was probably around chest high. I remember my mom reached over the counter and literally grabbed the nurse like this, grabbed her up by her lapels, and started shaking her. And but I'm laying flat on the counter, and my mom is shorter than me. She's a little woman, and she's picked. This is where adrenaline, when you hear about parents and moms and stuff saving their children's life by picking up cars, and she picked up this lady, and she's literally flinging her back and forth, this nurse. And so it causes this big commotion, and this white doctor comes out, and he looks at me and he says, what is going on? He says, rush her to the emergency room. So they pick me up off the not the emergency room, what do they call it, the operating room. They pick me up off the counter and put me on one of those beds. And I remember, I don't remember going through the doors or any of that, but I remember, just like when I see scenes of people when they're showing you hospital scenes and they're on the bed and those lights are passing, you know, because they're wheeling them down to the emergency, the operating room. And I remember as a little girl seeing those lights pass over my head, and I went into the operating room, and my mom, I remember she followed, and I remember the doctor. This is why I think to this day I have a high tolerance for pain, um, because I was so little, and I had already lost so much fluid, and I was already in whatever stage of shock. Um, they couldn't give me any anesthesia. They could not put me under, because my mom had explained to them that I had already gone unconscious right? And this is people, like, you can get them to the hospital or whatever, whatever, but they literally can die simply from the shock, because pain can get so intense that the shock of it kills them. And so I had already went through these phases of shock, and which caused me to go unconscious. The doctor said we cannot give her any anesthesia, but we have to get the skin off of her leg. We have to pop what do they, the cyst or whatever. It's not a cyst, but the, what is it called? Whatever the fluid was, my skin where the fluid was, they had to pop it, right? But they had to remove the skin at the same time, because they could not let that skin, because now the skin is mingled with clothing. So they had to pop it and then start to peel. Let me tell y'all something. Oh my goodness. It had to, y'all, this, ooh, when I think about it, I hadn't thought about this in so long ago. I think sometimes you try to hide or suppress memories. Now my nose is really gonna be stopped up, okay? But so they had to peel the skin off while I was awake, going in and out of conscious. No, Lord, I can hardly talk now, y'all. Going in and out of consciousness, and they couldn't take the risk of trying to get me to knock me out, because I might not have come back from that. Because when you get anesthesia, there's levels, you have to be at certain oxygen levels and things of that nature, right? And so that the pain was something that is undescribable. I screamed and hollered so much that the doctor and the nurses that surrounded me, they were all white doctors, all white nurses, were crying. The doctor literally had to have the nurses wipe his tears away. And I can just remember just seeing all these white faces looking down at me crying. Oh, God. As I screamed and hollered, baby, if I got to tell you. And that was not even the end of the pain. Back then they had wards, right? And they still have wards, but they're different. Back then they put everybody like in an open type bay, right? So they finished the operation, and they tried to steady me, and so they were like, we're gonna keep her here overnight, and she's gonna stay in this ward. It is just like an open bay. It's grown. Back then it was grown people, old people. I don't know why it was so. It wasn't like a where we were at. It wasn't like a infant hospital or separated like that, you know. And I wasn't an infant, but I was a young child, and they wheeled me up there with my mom and the doctor, I could hear them talking, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna leave her here, um, and we'll take care of her." I don't know how long they wanted to leave me there, and it was the burn unit, okay, and I was like, uh, no. I was so, I was kind of, I was stubborn a little bit as a child. Okay, I was like, no, because I seen different people. Y'all, this experience was like, I mean, they literally could make a movie off of this, because the people in these burn units were burnt. You know, back then they had white. They still use white gauze, but nowadays, the white gauze that you may use to cover a burn or a wound is covered with like a plastic type deal where it won't stick that much to the wound. Back then, it was just straight white gauze, okay? Meaning, uh, that road to recovery for me was like walking through hell, okay? Like literally, I literally had to learn how to walk over again. But that, before I even got to the point of walking, um, I remember the doctor telling my mom, well, she has to stay here and recover, and we can't, because they wanted also to try to medevac me to, back in the day, it was Walter Reed, not Walter Reed, I think it was Walter Reed Hospital. Like Walter Reed in Washington was like the top burn center. I think that's the name of it. I was so young, but I think it was, I remember it was like in Washington, and my mom was telling them, we're getting ready to go. My husband has just flew to Germany. It was just so much going on at that time. And but I acted a plumb fool. I acted a plumb fool. And I was like, no, I'm not staying here. I'm not staying here. And my mom was trying to calm me down and tell me, no, you have to you have to stay at this hospital so that they can get you better. And I was like, I'm not staying here. I just started screaming and kicking and acting up even more, even though I just came out of surgery, and I was fully aware because I had no drugs to knock me out. And my brother was, and I remember the doctor. I remember he was a male doctor. He was so freaking sweet and nice, and his eyes were like, I don't know if you ever seen someone with like kind eyes, like kindness in their eyes. Like that's the kind of eyes he had. And I remember my brother saying, can she come home? I'll take care of her. My brother was not that older than me. He was like, can we bring her home? And he kept saying, I'll take care of her. I'll take care of her. And the doctor looked at my mom, and then my mom was like, well, can we take her home? Can we just take her home and take care of her? And he was like, this wound, this type of burn can get infected easily, and she can, perish from this burn if it gets infected. You have to clean it daily. You have to clean it daily. And my brother, he was like, I'll clean it. I'll clean it. And just, let her come home with us. And so I remember the doctor giving us all kind of gauze, and back then they still use iodine to clean it. And he instructed my brother on how to take care of my burn on my leg, right? And so we get home, and my mom and my brother were taking care of it, but it was mostly my brother, right? And he would run bath water, and because the gauze, like the burn, would be wrapped real fresh with nice white gauze, but burns ooze, right? So the gauze would stick to it. And every time they had to clean it, it was like ripping off the skin over and over and over again. And I would holler, and my brother just started putting me in water to try to loosen the and then take it off, you know. But it's still, man, that was agonizing. And I would go and I would get checked up. And we went to go get checked up. I had plenty of hospital, you know, after surgery, pre-op, post-op. And so the infection was starting to get worse. Okay, I mean, not the infection, the burn was starting to get like an infection just around in a certain place, because my brother was doing good, my mom was doing good, but baby, it wasn't like being in the hospital. And so we went, and to this day, I thought this woman was trying to literally kill me. Okay, I literally thought she was trying to kill me. She was like a heavy set white nurse. um, and she came in to check the progress of my healing, and she was like, we have to clean this. And I want to, it feels like she was German. I don't know why, but it seemed like she had a heavy accent. And I remember her telling my mom that she had to clean my leg really, really well, and that this was going to hurt, because she had to take a brush, like, you know, like a soft shoe shine brush that you might see. Back in the day, people used to shine their boots or shoes, uh, but it wasn't that type of brush. It was literally for the doggone hospital type deal. So she told my mom that she had to do an intense cleaning of my leg for it to go ahead and fully heal, because the way it was going to set up a bad infection, right? And so my mom was like, oh, okay. And she was like, I tell you, once I do this cleaning, I want to say this woman had an accent. Uh, this is going to heal very fast, very fast. And I'm ready for it. My mom's like, yeah. If I got to tell you, she gets me to the table. In comes some more nurses, because they got to hold me down. They know what's getting ready to happen. I don't know. She takes this brush and she's dipping it in some medicine and whatever, and she's scrubbing my leg like this on a fresh burn, y'all. I go to hollering and scream. I thought these people was trying to kill me. Okay? I thought these people were literally trying to kill me. After it was done, we went back, they wrapped it up and gave some more medicine, and it did start to heal really, really well, but I could not walk, because if you know about a burn, it will constrict, your skin will get tight, and it was the worst of my burn was on my knee. Okay, and the doctors was telling my mom, well, it's healing good, it's healing really good, but she's not going to be able to walk again, or she's going to walk with a limp. I remember hearing that, and my mom says, what? And she was like, well, is there anything that we can do? And he was like, yes, well, she can get a skin graft over her leg, but it needs to heal. It needs to take some time to heal before we do this particular skin graft, because I have been through so much freaking trauma. If I could find a picture of me when I was a little girl, I mean, if you could think of a little chocolate girl with little pigtails this big, I mean, I literally was this big. He was like, she needs for her body to recoup from all of the trauma that it has gone through. And so, and he was saying, and it's iffy if she's going to be able to walk. Y'all, the way I used to get around in my house is on my hands. On my hands, literally. My legs, I would have them sticking straight out in front of me, and I would walk on my hands like this, walk around. And I remember my mom tried to go out the house one day, out the apartment, and sit on the stoop to get a break. And me and my brother were in the house. I'm sure she needed it, because a lot went on. A lot went on, and I was I got out the house and I'm walking down the hall on my hands with my legs out, and because our apartments was like there, it was like the apartment doors were inside like a hallway, like if you would a nice hotel, you know, the doors are inside the hallways and it's carpeted and stuff like that. That's the type of apartment we had lived in. And so I'm walking down, she seen me, and she just looked at me and she said, basically like I'm something else. And after that day, she wound up helping me do physical therapy at home, and she was determined that I was not going to walk with no limp. I was not going to not walk again. And that is when uh, my brother and my mom and dad put us in every activity under the sun. Okay, as a child, I never I never took a break. Um, I was in cheerleading. I was on the swimming team. I was in gymnastics. I was in taekwondo. I was in the basketball team. I mean, we were on everything to keep us active and keep me moving. But although at that very young age, I was insecure about that burn, and we were we had flew back into the States, and we had made another doctor's appointment, and we were going in to talk about the skin grafting process. And we were in the doctor's office, and the doctor was amazed that I was even walking, right? And how the flexibility of my leg had become, and how to them in their medical practice they were amazed, but to me I was like, I still see a burn on my leg, right? And so uh they were like, well, I mean, she's doing amazing, but I was eager. I'm like, I want the skin graft, not really knowing what it was about. Okay, I am so happy. At a young age, I was able to make wise decisions when it came regarding that skin graft, because back then they didn't do skin grafts like they do now. So the doctor was explaining to my mom and I about how the process of getting the skin graft would occur. And he would say, we use pig skin. What? He said, we use pig skin and we stretch the skin over the leg, and we make it look like this, that, and the third. And so it'll actually be pig skin. I don't know why. When I heard pig skin, I was like, that's okay. I was like, I do not want a skin graft. I'm good. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. It wasn't that I didn't like pigs, because I didn't know about being Hebrew and about what the pig is and how unclean it is. I think that was the Most High God was like, nope, speaking out of me, nope, 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 nope. But yeah, back in the day, and I think to this day, they still use some pig skin to do burn victims' skin grafts. But now sometimes they'll put a pump in a certain part of a person's area, and they'll pump it up slowly so the skin can stretch. And then they'll take that skin off of, and they'll use their own donor. You'll be your own donor. But my leg healed up so well. Nowadays, you wouldn't even be able to really tell that I had third-degree burns. That I tell you, I literally died, and that's why I understand that a lot of people that undergo like severe trauma or something, like we were talking about how I got on this subject about when I came on here to speak to someone who expressed that they had been molested. And I tell you, the enemy strikes early. the enemy strikes early. You might think, like I'm telling this story, somebody might think, oh, that was just the accidental incident. If they knew the stages and how severe the stages were, and how that I overcame so many obstacles that I wasn't even supposed to be here. Let me tell you, the enemy comes early to get folks. I'm telling you that have a calling, have a mission here. And some people can't deal with some of the things that happen to them because I mean that what I'm retelling you the story about severe pain and trauma, okay, and it brings me uh, to recall it to tears, right? Because I can see in my mind every step of when that happened, clear as day. You know what I'm saying? So imagine someone who has gone through molestation or rape or just things of that nature. They can recall that. It's like it never dies in their mind. It's always there. But that is just the enemy trying to uh, be that antagonizing spirit in your mind to bring you down, to make you give up the fight, to make you give up the fight. And I truly believe he comes to the strongest one because he's seen that light when you came through that portal of your mom's womb. And so I don't look down at all on people who have been through any molestations because it truly was not your fault. It truly was not your fault. I don't look down on people who have come through being in foster care and things have happened to them or have had struggles early in life because there is a reason, and we've all heard it before, why he puts his strongest out there and he won't put nothing more on you than you can handle. And it's amazing that a lot of young children have gone through some things that some of y'all will never experience, right? Not only the trauma of them being molested and uh, having to go through that, but then you have to realize that didn't stop life from happening. Life is lifing for these people. So things are happening. They could be homeless. That compels on to people to make people want to snap. Okay, and then just just think about compelling on to someone who's gone through so much. Now you got people wanting to stalk you, wanting to harass you, and they don't even know all of the walk and everything you have gone through to be where you are, but they look at you and assume that your life has been just a bed of roses. And so they'll gang up, they'll participate in something. People will be jealous and could never endure what you have endured in your life. Um, so be strong, soldiers. Okay, be strong. I don't even like to call those people on that level soldiers. I call y'all warriors because y'all can handle some very difficult challenges, difficult pains. I mean, and I consider myself definitely a warrior. The Most High showed me I was a warrior. He already showed me, so I already know. Um, but I think when I went through the pain that I endured, it reminds me of how some men that were in Vietnam, how they were tortured, and the pains that those men went through with being shoved bamboo under their fingernails or their nails ripped out, or just the immense torture that grown men have to have endured. Just imagine what tortures that children have to endure, that their own parents put them through, that their own parents would burn them, that their own parents would torture them like that. You have children that get burned broken limbs and black eyes, and still their parents will rush them to the hospital and act like they didn't know what happened, and they inflicted that onto their own children. Imagine that child that makes it through something like that is truly, their spirit is a warrior here, in this realm. So I just wanted to come on here. I didn't mean to go all the way in. I just wanted to talk to you and just let you all know that, people, when they say something is going on in their life and you truly don't know, and you truly have not encountered it, you should not dismiss it. Okay, you have to be able to have discernment, true discernment over people, and you have to, just because you didn't experience, you have to understand that that does not mean it hasn't or didn't happen to that particular person. And so that's the message I want to put out here to you all today. Be very mindful. If you feel that you're being stalked, and somebody is watching you and following you, don't dismiss that. Don't be out here lollygagging on live streams. Like Ringo had even mentioned, don't go live in public places anymore. You know what I'm saying? Especially like in big cities where people know you, and sometimes in your small towns and wherever you live, because you might have people ready to act stupid. But if you're going to do that, if you're going to be out there and take that risk, always have your head on a swivel. You should be always on guard. Okay, you cannot be out here playing games. That young man that lost his life, he was lacking. He could never be on security. Well, rest his peace. Rest in peace. But someone like that, I would never consider them for a security detail ever, 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 ever. You're and ladies, let me speak to this. If just even if you're not being stalked, even if you're with your man, your husband, your boyfriend, they are always, when in your presence, and if you're around, they should be on security detail from the gate. Okay, from the gate. I mean, the security detail for your protection and theirs should be on the gate so tough that if you're walking down a sidewalk, okay, and if you're on the side of the road where the traffic is, and if his behind is by the grass and he's walking and you're holding hands and your behind is here, and he didn't take you and move you over and proceed to walk, and his behind is by the road and you are by the grass, something he lacking. He lacking. He ain't on security detail. That's a private duty. He ain't on security detail. He can't be no general. Cause that's small apples. But men have, some they don't get taught these things. Okay? That security detail. So not to talk about the dead, but her husband, the couple that just got taken out in Vegas, her husband was slacking. And then knowing that somebody has been making threats, literal threats, but you still trying to do your content, build your content, and you don't have not a weapon on you, and you have your vulnerable wife that put herself in harm's way, and she looked like she was a $105. Man, lacking. I'm telling you, if you content creators and you travel and you do things of that nature, and you're able to carry you a firearm, you need to register your firearm, and wherever you're going, you can't fly with your firearm. You get these cases that you check in, and you can fly with your firearm. And I know plenty of people that have gone to Vegas with their firearm. You can check it into hotels. Man, you couldn't, no, You can't be lacking in these days and times, especially if you're still out here trying to be a content creator. Man, when you're trying, this is my thoughts, okay? When you're trying to be a content creator, and now you're starting to travel, you might have got some hate or a lot of hate, threats of somebody try. If I see you as on site type threats, it's time for you to come out of pocket and hire you a small security team. Yeah, that's right. And they have them for hire. Okay? Because when you're concentrating on your content, if you're out in public, you need to have security on watch. On watch. I'm telling you, I would be an asset to anybody's team because I wouldn't play that. I tell you, I play background very well. I'm a producer. I wouldn't play that stuff. If you are, you cannot possibly focus on delivering content and making it fun and enjoyable, interacting with the chat, and being on lookout. I don't care if you feel that you're up to that level and you have 3,000 subscribers, 4,000 subscribers. You better hire your some. I wouldn't even say hire your boys because they be slacking. They think they was on vacation. You need to hire some people that really, man. Y'all don't. Let me tell you something. Even before this incident, I used to do event planning, and I used to produce car shows, right? And when you have an event of whatever magnitude you would have an event, you have to secure insurance, okay? So I would get $1 million worth of insurance. You're not paying $1 million, you're paying a percentage of $1 million, like if you were to bond somebody out of jail on that level, okay? I would always get $1 million worth of insurance. You pay a percentage of that to cover the facility, to cover like if somebody got hurt at the event. But not only that, I hired security, and I also hired the local, at least one local police officer, so that they can park their police car to be visible on site, and not only to be visible, to be have access, because if they say man down, the popo is coming. Okay, so that's just my mindset, and I wasn't even on no big level, but I know people when they get to eating, drinking, they can start acting a plum fool. If you're a YouTube content creator and you are out here and you feel that you want to do your events in public and things like that, well, you need to start taking this seriously and considering this as a true business. I'm sorry, it's not a game anymore. It might have been a hobby for you in the beginning, but now you see it's growing. But hey, we all, you as just regular people in the world, you pick up haters, you pick up people that are jealous just by you existing. So if you are on camera and if you know you done picked up some haters, and if you have an active beef, come on now. Come on. I'm sorry. Rest in peace. What's his name? I think I wrote it down. What's his name? Rest in peace, my brother. But that was slacking on a level I cannot understand. That was slacking on a level I could not understand. I don't know if they live close to Vegas or something, but baby, it should have been 3 plane tickets or 4 plane tickets, or hired people when you got into town. You need to do more research than that. And I'm telling you guys, y'all need to do more research than what you do when y'all be out here trying to be famous. And some of y'all might not be trying to be, but if you out there like that, you trying to be something, or you trying to get a check. So don't play the okey doke. Don't play yourself. Don't play yourself, because you might not hardly have any money in the bank or whatever, but people are going to assume something about you right off the rip. Okay, I'm just saying, take this seriously. If you plan on building it and you want to go on the road, you need to get some serious muscle. And when I say serious, not just serious muscle in the bronze, but serious muscle that are serious about their job. When I hire people to do something, I expect them to do their job. I don't care if you feel familiar with me. Because some people you can hire and they think that because you joke, you laugh, things do happen that are funny. They feel they get a familiar sense of like they know you, and they try to want to slack on doing their jobs. No, you are hired to do this job. Simple, point blank. Now afterwards, I might take y'all to dinner, and I have done that for people I have hired on my staff when I had House in the Code. But when it was time to move and groove, it was time to move and groove. You got time to be playing games. I mean, and especially if you're a black content creator, you ain't got time to be slacking and looking unprofessional out here. You ain't got time for all that. You don't never know who is looking. So many times, and I know I done went on another soapbox, but I got to be on this one. And I have to tell you guys, this is a business for you, and it can make you some money if you truly handle it and treat it like a business. Treat your business with some respect. Because I'm trying to tell you, if you don't even treat your content and how you're putting it and how you're trying to develop it, it's gonna look sloppy, and it's gonna come across sloppy. And if you go out there sloppy, then people gonna know you sloppy and you slipping. But before I was working in anything media, anything where I got a paycheck and they paid me to come out, I was just at first getting asked to come out and hired my production team. They was so tight. I had one white videographer, and when I stepped into the building, I was dressed and he dressed. I asked him, "You could dress casual, but I need you to be neat. I don't need you to be sloppy. Coming in with your hair all." I'll show you some pictures, but I don't want to put him on blast because he might not want to be on social media. He used to come in with one of those. He got to the point where he started coming in with one of those hats, brims and stuff, with like some nice jeans. And yeah, people. I remember we went to an event and I went in there. They thought I was just the reporter, and it was a group of females, black females too. Side note to this story. And we went to go cover an event, and I always had meetings with my team, and especially my cameramen, because there was certain footage I wanted B-roll shots and things of that nature. And at the time I didn't even know I didn't even know it had a name to it. Okay, so my cameraman knew that he would go into the event first, get footage of everything happening in the doggone event. Okay, and then if I'm doing a interview with anybody particular, then he would come back to me, and I had an assistant. I used to have two. They were at different times though. And when it was time for my interview with a certain artist or something, that my assistant would go, and we would have already scouted out the area where the interview was going to take place. She would go get them and bring them back, sit them down, and man, I ran a tight ship. And I wasn't working for no mate. I was working for me. Okay? These women, when we went into this event, because he was a white man, no shade, because he was a white man, they automatically assumed he owned the business. He owned House in the Code because of the way we stepped on the scene. Okay? They pretty much assumed that I was just the reporter or a commentator for that night. And I seen it all go down. And it was a group of girls, and they were like, "Can you interview us? Can you put us on camera?" Now, he had like the big like news station cameras. okay? Equipment, all on his stuff. And but they gave me just like women do, they gave me like a shiesty type, attitude. And I'm just sitting there waiting with the mic, because I had the mic that back in the day we had the cord you plug in. We didn't have the cordless mic yet. And I'm sitting there waiting, but I'm watching everything go down, and they just cute little girls, um, putting their charms on my camera guy, and they were like, "Can you get us on camera?" Yada yada yada, and he looks at me, and I looked at him, and they looked like confused. And he was like, "Well, you're gonna have to go talk to her, because that's the boss." These black women, their faces changed automatically. They're in shock. In shock. You see, because they just assumed by his color he was in charge. But did they come and ask me? I wouldn't have cared if they got on camera. I wouldn't have cared, because that would just be more footage for me. Right? And I would have asked them, do a drop for me. House Nicole is in the building. Go ahead and do a drop. But because they assumed, and you could see that they were being, I thought they were being funny. I thought they were being slick. I thought they were, using their sexual woes to charm my camera guy. It didn't work out for them, so they didn't come and approach me and ask me what could we get on camera. They probably thought I was going to say no. I'm telling you, YouTubers, TikTokers, Facebookers, you must be professional if this is something that you are trying to expand, turn into your business, turn into your steady income stream, or one of your steady income streams. I mean, because it's going to reflect not only to you, but people are watching you. And if you're going out in public and you're just doing sloppy work, I mean, everybody has a selfie stick up. Everybody has their arm in the sky. Look at me. I'm here. I'm here. But how are you going out? How do you look when you step out on the scene? It's different when you step out and you got people on the same wavelength as you. Okay, it's different when they say, "Oh, this person got a little security. Okay, we might have to come back a little later." It's different if man, it's just different if you take it seriously. You can stand out. You can stand above the rest. Okay, because it's saturated with people and wanting to be content creators or wanting to be YouTubers. It's saturated on every platform. You just have to, if you start to make some motion, you're gonna have to come different. And I know you don't want to come and be professional, and it might seem old school for me to be telling you that, but you better look at these young creators like Kai Sinai. Huh? You better look at them as he rose. You better look at how his security, they don't be playing. He just had an event, I think a little party or something, and somebody wasn't supposed to be at that party. And he played his, I tell you, I've been around celebrities. I know how they talk. I know how they'll stand right beside you and be talking, and people will think that you're talking about the show or something, and they'll be talking about they might be disgruntled about something. They might be, and we're talking about, okay, well, we'll talk about that when we get in the back. Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, so she wanted, her bottle was hot. Oh, okay. They didn't chill her wine. And you're smiling and you're talking about business, and people are looking, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. But you're talking about the rider wasn't fulfilled right. Okay? Kais and I was like joking. Oh, hold on. Ran smooth up to his bodyguard and said, somebody's not supposed to be here. He just pulled out his phone, just tight, jumping like he always is. Jumping around. Yeah, man. Check this out. Showed his bodyguard the picture, and bodyguard looking, yeah, and went handle business. Okay? And that is the type of people, when you hire people, it's not your boys, because your boys will be there to get hired, suck all that, the paycheck you paid them with, all the liquor that's at the event, if it's any liquor, any alcohol. They'll be flirting with all the girls. No, you need a bodyguard that understands, oh, I done clocked in. I done clocked in. And whatever y'all done signed up for him to be, doing, that's what he need to be doing. He need to go. Because now your safety is at risk. You know? And so, who are you talking to? So let me go down here, because I know I didn't get a chance to read some of you guys' comments. Oh, Selena, what did you say is happening to you now? She's probably gone by now. Selena. It's happening to you. I think she's talking about gang stalking is happening to her now, or some form of stalking. It's not a game. People, they will get infatuated with you very quick. Mm-hmm. So, if somebody said, let them devils know you're never scared. I tell you, I think because, you hear, well, I listen to people's stories about, I died and I went to heaven. And I'm like, but did I leave the door open? No. I died and I went to heaven, and it was a bright light that came. Y'all, I did, it faded to black, and maybe I didn't die completely, because it wasn't like they had to bring me back. You know what I'm saying? But the stories I hear in my experience of what happened, maybe mine was more of me about to die, going into shock, because I remember it fading. It first fades to black, like when you go to sleep. I keep hearing, I don't know if I'm hearing wind blowing on my, oh, it's probably my blinds, because I did have, I remember it faded to black first. Not no bright light, but maybe I wasn't on the edge that far in. But I do remember going in and out of consciousness. I do remember that, and it went to black. So I truly am not. I have this feeling like or like they say, out of the body is closer to yeah. I just, I don't know. I don't have a fear of death. When it comes, it comes. You know what I'm saying? But I know some people, um, they have a they truly are scared of death and scared to die, and that's something I can't knock them for. You know what I'm saying? Because they may never had been in any type of trauma situation or anything, knowing that it is not like something horrifying, because it was very peaceful in my case. It was peaceful. It felt like I went to sleep. That's exactly what it felt like. Um, let me see. So, people can try more than you and still, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So guys, yeah, I went all the way around telling you about your YouTube business, but I guess we tied it up in a perfect little bow at the end of this conversation. I just want you to be aware that stalking is real. We witnessed it with the incident in Vegas. He literally was driving around trying to find them, and that's stalking. Because why are you looking for somebody? Why are you trying to be where they're at? Going to each and every place. You know, that is considered stalking, okay? Um, it's real. And take it like that. Don't act like it's a game. And women, I was saying the men be on point. You need to be on point with your security as well. It is um I might have to do another series where we go to the gun range. You know what I'm saying? And we just put that on video to get y'all in the mindset of stop acting like don't be doing that girly stuff and learn how to fire a weapon. Okay? And if you need to build yourself up, get good quality security instruments for yourself. Not little flim flam stuff. Okay? Not little, you better get some quality pepper spray. Quality. I mean, they have so many weapons that you can wear on your person that is hidden, that nobody would know is a weapon besides you. Okay? So you need to take your safety seriously, men and women, especially if you're out here on these YouTube streets with aspirations of being a YouTuber or a content creator. Sometimes for some people it just comes by accident, but some of you guys are dedicated to making that happen for you. And you got to be dedicated to understanding it's literally a business. All right? I am out, and much, much love.